welcome to Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith and today I'm bringing you my October book haul. So I hauled 18 books in the month of October, which I think is really good, especially given that I read 23 books. So that puts me, -5 books into my TBR, which is really good. So we're going to work our way through. I'll talk a little bit about the books and we'll share what we're excited to read. Let's go! The first book of my NetGalley books, of which there are 5, is Sisters of Shadow and Light by Sarah B. Larson. This is coming out on the 5th of November, so I'd better get to reading it fairly soon. This is, by my reckoning, a fairy tale kind of book about sisterhood, which, you can take or leave. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're that one about swans. We'll see how that goes, but looking forward to reading that one. The next book I hold from NetGalley is The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood. This is an adult fantasy book that comes out in February of 2020, so we've got a little bit of a while before we're going to talk about this one. This is epic fantasy. The main character is raised in a death cult. She escapes, she has to fight people. I don't know a huge amount about this except that it's been really talked about, so I'm looking forward to getting to this one. Next I have The Blue Eye by Ausma Zahanak Khan. This is the third book in the Bloodprint trilogy. Both of the first 2 I have actually read, which is so rare for me at this point. So The Bloodprint, The Black Khan, The Blue Eye. These books have been really good, I think. I like them when I'm reading them, but I haven't held on to any of them. They've not been ones I wanted to reread. I'm hoping that I think this is the end of a trilogy. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm hoping this will round everything off and I can let this trilogy be in the world, as if I could stop it. Anyway, it's been a long day. But yes, really rich in detail, really strong characters, quite dense text, which I think is why I haven't enjoyed them as much. This comes out on the 17th. Oh, this is already out. This is already out. It came out on the 17th of October, so I will hopefully be getting to this very soon. Next, I have The Iron Will of Jeannie Lo by F.C. Yee. This is the sequel to the Epic Crush of Jeannie Lo, I think, which is Own Voices, Asian YA superhero fantasy sci-fi kind of story. I loved the first book. It was just the kind of story I wanted at that time. It's light-hearted, but it doesn't ignore issues. It's just very good, and you get a lot of, I think, Chinese mythology out of this. I would recommend it if you're looking for something to fill a Percy Jackson-sized hole in your heart. It's very good. The last of my NetGalley reads is The Skyweaver by Kristen Cicciarelli? The lady who wrote the Ixari series. This is the third book in that series. They're kind of 3 distinct but joined novels, so they tie together. I'm looking forward to reading The Skyweaver. I think it's going to be good. As I said in my clearing out video, I'm looking forward to reading the whole of this trilogy again. So I am going to read Skyweaver first, but then I'm going to go back through the first 2, which I think will be really good. That is out on the 14th of May 2020, which is quite some time away, in which case maybe I will read the first 2 first. You'll have to subscribe and watch this space to find out. Next, we have all the ARCs that were sent to me this month. I have some very exciting ones in here. So I just have 5 of these again. Did really well this month. I say really well, it depends whether book post is a goal or not. But first up, I have The Name of All Things by Jen Lyons. This is the sequel to The Ruin of Kings, which used to be here, but I've redone my shelves, so I can't point to anything anymore. This is epic fantasy. Dark epic fantasy, not kind of grimdark, but it's heavy, it's got footnotes, it's quite dense. I can't remember when this is out, but it's fairly soon, so I'll definitely be reading this in a short while. Next, the lovely Jamie from Tor and various other places sent me Sweet Black Waves and Wild Savage Stars by Christina Perez. I didn't own these physically before, except for a hardback of Sweet Black Waves, which I've since unhauled, so it's nice to have matching editions. I have already read these, but I am planning on rereading them, so having them physically is a really great thing. These are good Celtic romance. It's a retelling of Tristan and Isolde in the first one. I don't know Tristan and Isolde well enough to tell you if that's what the second one is as well, but they are very well written. Read them with a bit of focus, don't do what I did and just sort of breeze through. You need to keep your head in the game. Troy Bolton. But yes, very lovely to have received those. Definitely will be reading them at some point. Next, I have a book that isn't with me because it's on my desk at work. This is The Pursuit of William Abbey. This was unsolicited book post. I don't know if I'm going to read this. I might try and pass it on to someone who'll enjoy it more than me. I can't tell you anything about it, but the cover looks like this. There we go. And last but not least, we have the bit of book post that genuinely made me scream a little bit at work when I opened it. This is The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. If you've watched any of my videos, you'll know I absolutely love her. And I was so chuffed to receive an early copy of The Guinevere Deception. I finished it already. It was my first book I read in November, and oh, it's so good. There are elements that I think some people won't like, and if I wanted to nitpick it, I could, but I could do that with any of my favourite books, and this was just really, really good fun to read. I love Kirsten White's writing. I think I always will, and I'm really, really happy to have this on my shelf, and I'm looking forward to book 2. I need it now, and I've decided the only way is to become Kirsten White's best friend so that she can just give me her manuscripts. Now we have my physical books, which is actually the largest category here, which doesn't happen very often, but it's because of Galantsfest. I bought 4 books at Galantsfest. If you want to watch that video, I think it'll be up here, if I remember to put it there. First, I have a hardback edition of Nevernight. This was sent to me by a kind person who saw my haul where I talked about how I always hoped to find one of these in a charity shop and never did, and said, you know what, I'm not going to read it. Would you like me to send this to you? And after assuring her that she did not need to and that she could probably put down the deposit for a car if she wanted to sell this, we actually I traded her a couple of books and she sent this to me, and it's amazing to have. So I just wanted to keep this in here to say thank you so much. You are very kind, you know who you are, and I appreciate you. Dreams do come true. Next we have Crownbreaker by Sebastian de Castiel. I now own book 4 and book 6 in this series, and that's it. I own book 1 and 2 on Kindle, don't own book 3. I feel like I've reverted to when I bought books as a child, and I was just like, this one is gold and shiny, who cares about the rest of the series? But no, this is the final book in the series. I do care about this series. I'm really looking forward to finding out how it ends. I'm hoping that I can squeeze this into my November TBR, maybe? Just to avoid anyone spoiling it for me. I'm going to whiz through the next 4 because you've already heard about them in my Galantsfest video. I have the collector's edition of A Conjuring of Light by V. Schwab. It's very lovely. It has fan art on the inner pages. It's just nice. I mainly got it to match my other books in a quite shallow way, but very happy to have that now. 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. Very excited to read that. House of Binding Horns by Aliette Bodard, so that I can read the whole series, and The Ruin of Stars by Lindsay Miller, because I love a gender-fluid protagonist. You would think that was it for my Galantsfest video, because I didn't mention anything else, but that evening they tweeted that they were putting on sale a lot of the Kindle books from the authors who were there, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to get them, aren't I? So I also picked up We Are the Dead, and I picked up The Privilege of the Sword, and I'm looking forward to reading those, but they are definitely going to be holiday reads, because I always forget what's on my Kindle. Much like with my wrap-up, I forgot one book. It's actually 19 books I hold. Still very good, because one of them is an audiobook. I used my Audible credit this month to buy Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, mainly because I have a friend who's been asking me to read Robin Hobb for ages, and I thought this was the best way to do it currently. So I'm probably a couple of hours, maybe 3 hours into it so far, and I'm really enjoying it. It has a lot of that kind of old school fantasy vibe about it, and I will have more to say on that when it's done. There you have it, 19 books. I'm very proud of myself this month. Whether next month will be as good, I don't know, but we shall see. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do feel free to watch my November TBR, my October wrap-up, the 3 videos that I make at the end of every month. If you want to support me in my book buying, my book hauling, my book reading journey, you could do so by liking this video, you can comment, you can share, you can subscribe, that really helps me out. You can follow me on all of my socials, and of course I will see you in the next one.